What's going on, everyone? And welcome to the Boot Breakdown. I am JB, the sports guy. Jordan Taylor is off on assignment for tonight, so he will not be able to join us tonight, but he'll be back next week. But we do have the other co host, the one and only Nick Campbell. What's up, man?
I'm in the house, bro. Barely, but I'm in here.
I see you repping your
I, I,
Hornville shirt today.
yeah, man. I had a sinus attack that was just unbelievable. But I'm here.
Man,
I'm here.
that's what
You
I'm
know
talking
what's
about.
going on with the JB? This was a
Oh,
lovely, lovely weekend for some high school football, abroad and nationally, right?
Oh, you know it, man. You know it. Great weekend all around for high school football. Great, great showing by the state of Louisiana, and we'll get into that in a second. But my brother, I want to start off with that main event that we had in the Superdome. That if you didn't see it, you can still go back to CrescentCitySports.com and watch that game. Edna Carr and American Heritage. Edna Carr winning in overtime over American Heritage. Nick Campbell, I want to start with you about your thoughts on that game.
Man, I tell you what, once I started, I pick up the game in the second half, coming home, watching the game on the road. Man, I was very impressed by American Heritage. I was very impressed with Carr. And I mean, to have two teams that's replicating each other, they look just like identical wise with talent, coaching. It made me felt real good seeing two national prominent programs collide on a big stage and had a showing for everybody.
Agreed, agreed. When we finished broadcasting West St. John against St. James, we got in the car and I put it on my phone and I was listening to the first half. And then I went to Popeyes, and Popeyes had me wait for 25 minutes for some chicken. So I missed the whole. Well, I was able to sit down and watch the whole third quarter. Then I got home, started the fourth quarter, and put it on the TV. And man, I tell you
Mhm.
what, man, tell you what, the speed from American Heritage is crazy, crazy speed,
Yes.
man. I never saw anybody with that type of speed be able to match up with Edna Carr, speed wise. And the running game couldn't really get off of Edna Carr at times due to that speed. But
Yeah.
I, I wanna say this though. I wanna say this because Edna Carr's offensive line took a beating. Quarterback John Johnson, tough as nails, he took a beating.
Grew up. He grew
Yeah,
up. He grew up
you can,
that night.
yeah, you can say that too. Yes, sir. Because my gosh, they were hitting them left and right. But
Yes.
John Johnson able to lead a 70-yard drive in the last minute with no timeouts. And the shocking part is this: and the car is not known to have a kicker. Maybe to kick an extra point, but they sent a kicker in to kick a 37-yard field goal to tie the
Field
game.
goal.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
makes
And
the
when
field goal. He
I was
makes the
shocked.
field goal. You, I think majority of the people here in New Orleans, when they saw that happen, they all was shocked. Because I think in our
And
mind, we
loving
all
it.
thinking 4th and 18, Carr gonna go for it. And made that field goal. And Nick, when he made that field goal, I said, "There's no way they losing." I said, "There's no way they losing." Just it
And
couldn't lose now.
look, and kudos to Coach Bryce Brown, man, because he had faith in that kid. If you listen to everything when Coach Brown he talks, he really wants you to have that affection for him and the compassion for his kids. And if he said, "Look, I'm gonna put this on you to go and make this kick," that kid took it and he ran it, made it. And he didn't let his coach or his team down.
He sure didn't. Sure didn't, man. Ice in his veins. Car goes down for overtime. John Johnson on a speed option to the left side. American Heritage loaded it up on the right side. So they had the advantage with the speed option going to the left. He runs it in for the touchdown. And American Heritage after that, I don't think they even gained a yard. And
Mm-hmm.
and the car stops them. But before we move on, to me, Nick, the play of the game, and I really think that if this doesn't happen, and the Cardinals win this game from the 30-yard line, American Heritage broke one down the middle, running game broke it right down the middle. Safety, LSU commit Aiden Hall runs him down and strips the ball at the 1 yard line, and it goes through the end zone for a touchback. That to me was the play of the game because, like I just said, if that doesn't happen, American Heritage is up by 2 possessions, and they probably win that game.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta agree with you, man, because at that point it was starting to look bleak for him. It was starting
Yeah,
to look bleak for him, man. And you know, big time players make big time plays in games like this. We also saw this uh about 15 years ago with the Honey Badger. Him
yeah.
making big plays all the time in high school football. He was always around the football with big plays being had to be made, you know.
All the time, all the time. So look, I want to tip my hat to both of those teams, American Heritage and Edna Carr, because that is a classic that we will never forget that happened inside the Caesar Superdome Friday night. I want to ask you this before we go on. Which nationally ranked matchup to you do you think had a bigger impact for the state of Louisiana? Was it John Curtis versus Hoover, Alabama years ago when Curtis had Joe McKnight? Or was it this game, Edna Carr versus American Heritage?
Well, I could be honest with you. When you go back to that era, when you think about Curtis and Hoover, I think it was all propaganda at one point in time, and we didn't realize the significance of it then. But it opened the door for that game to that night for Friday night. But as far as a classic football game, I think that car game and heritage game gonna open the door for big time schools to come and play big time inner out of state schools to come and play some of these big time in state schools, man.
I totally
Especially in the
agree.
Superdome.
I totally agree. I think it's equally between the two. Reason being, I think that John Curtis went over Hoover, and Hoover was number one in the nation. I think Curtis
Mm-hmm.
was in the top 10 somewhere. I think that win really put Louisiana on the map, showing everybody that, hey, we could play football with the best of them. I really think that game did that. And then this game with Edna Carr just solidifies that still we could play with any team in any state. And with me saying that, I'm going to my next topic. Edna Carr wasn't the only Louisiana team to play a team from another state. There were 8 other teams, and just to name a few: St. Edmunds, West Monroe, Ruston, Iowa. Nick, Louisiana went 9-0 against out-of-state teams this past
Yeah,
weekend. What
yes.
does that say about the state?
And that's not any pushover schools they playing. You
Right.
know, and we always talk, man, and I'm gonna tell you, you probably don't know. I've been trying to get Uncle Luke on my live for
You
him
did
to
that.
bring his teams down here to actually play, man. If we could see the Boscos play or the Cal Polys play, come to Louisiana and play, man. Y'all doing well in California, Arizona, Bishop Gorman. We want y'all to take that ride and come eat some gumbo and play some of these good schools here, man. Not the discredit any of those schools we named. We got some really good teams out here, like St. Thomas More, man, when they was really on top. I want to see them play some of these good schools because it looked like a mismatch when it came down to the elites here versus all right, Texas. Let's do it. We know we pretty much they are neighbors. Mississippi our neighbors, but we want those bigger market schools like the Vegas schools and the California schools and the Seattle's. Now don't sleep on Seattle, Washington, and Tacoma and all of them. They got some good football that way that we would love to see how our teams match up against those guys.
Agreed. I was just impressed, man. 9-0. That is crazy. We went 7-2 or 6-3. I'll still be very, very impressed. But to go 9-0
Oh,
against these out of state teams, that sent a message, man. And I agree with you. I would love for these top tier teams like St. Thomas More, Edna Carr. We could name so many more. Calico Baton Rouge, John Curtis. John Curtis went to play California team last week to play these teams here or out there. Let's make it happen more often. We do have a lot of great teams here that can compete with the best. So I would love to see that happen more often, my friend. But to go 9-0, that spoke volumes to me, my brother. It spoke
Shout
volumes.
out, shout out, shout out to all those coaches and kids that was involved, man. I tell you that was as an impeccable number. It's a great number to get
Yeah,
9 victories, and
yep.
our co-host is a part of one of them, right?
Yeah. Jordan. That's why I said Jordan's on assignment. He had to go do a game in Dallas. St. Edmunds from Louisiana went to Dallas to play a team called Sacred Heart, and that game was over in the second quarter. Hey, St. Edmunds, bro, was up 42-0 in the second quarter. My goodness, man. If Louisiana
Like
didn't
them,
make a statement,
them youngsters always say they gonna learn today, and they learn.
they sure did, man. TC, no, see, John Curtis was last week, TC. They was last week. They weren't this week. All right. Let's get in some of the games around the state, my brother. I want to start with a game that I said if Lake Charles College Prep were to beat Barb, they would be the new sheriff of Lake Charles.
You surely
And
did.
I said that. Do you know Lake Charles College Prep was down 51-26 at halftime and came back and won that game 70-65 at Barb
BTA,
High School?
BTA, BTA.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever been to Barb Stadium, but that is a huge stadium,
Yes, I
man.
did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
That is a huge stadium. And they went there and they defeated them. Give me your thoughts about Lake Charles College Prep having that comeback.
JB, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. When y'all was talking about Lake Charles College Prep, I just didn't want to be let down by Lake Charles College Prep. You know, you see them, they do so well so often, and then they get to the playoffs and they flame out. But I'm impressed to go to Barb and to do what they did. You know, and I mean, at halftime when I was going through the scores, I saw well, Lake Charles College Prep was down. But then when I saw the end, I said, well, look. They must be heard what we said. They must be heard what we said, and not discounting them. We don't want to discount no team,
No, of
man.
course not.
But,
Yeah.
but yeah, but they came and they played a really good 5A Bar Buccaneers, man.
They did, man. They did. And like we said, they trailed by 25 at halftime, came back and won 70-65. Coach Franklin said they made some adjustments on defense. And you got to give them credit. You held that team to 14 points in the second half, and you scored, let me get my math right, 46 points. 46 points
Yeah.
to
get
win that
7.
game. You got to credit the coaching staff. You got to credit the players for not giving up and continue to fight. Nothing but perseverance, man. You got to credit them. And to see the fans for Lake Charles College Prep who didn't leave, who stayed and celebrated with that team afterwards, I commend all y'all, man. That is a big victory, and that is Lake Charles College Prep's first victory ever over Barb.
Yeah, and look, I can tell you what it did for the community. They're starting to look at each other side-eyed now, like, I should have went to Lake Charles College Prep when I had a chance. You know, and they went for the glitz and glamour at Bob and Lake Charles College Prep. They're doing their thing. And I mean, if you ever been a part of a game like that, JB, Coach Franz and I, we talk about it all the time. Fans, parents, on well wishers and stuff like that. You paid your money, watch the game to its entirety. You will be surprised. High school football is still some of the rarest form of entertainment that you can ever spend your money on because the game is never over.
That's right. You are right. You are right. Nick, whenever you go see St. James again, TC got a brand new chain, man. He wants you to see it. See, I saw it, man. It ain't a bad looking chain, bro. It's a nice chain. Nice
Yeah,
chain for high school.
he texted me Wednesday and told me, he's like, I got a new chain. You gonna be on? I said, no. I pretty much knew the results. that with that type of deal. St. James got bigger fish to fry in the near future. So that turnover chain, TC, look, start polishing it up, bro, because y'all playing a pretty good schedule yourself. And if y'all conclude this season undefeated, everything gonna run through St. James.
There you go. There you go. I want to go to Baton Rouge area right quick. Defending Division II non-select state champs Cecilia went to Saint Amar, and Saint Amar gets the win 60-56. How did
Yes.
Saint Amar get this win? Well, they drove down the field, 71-yard drive, 9 plays, and a touchdown from Babin, who's the quarterback, to Elisar, Quentin Elisar, the wide receiver, to get the win. And they had 12 seconds left in the game when they scored the touchdown. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Your thoughts about Saint Amar going down the field and getting this win? 2-minute drill.
Here's the deal. We look at that score and it's 56-60, right?
Yeah.
And you think of a basketball game, they just was scoring. But in order for that to happen, Santa Mar made two big plays on two different occasions to get that W. You just not gonna stop them and say, well, they scoring like they did. Look, Santa Mar is quite impressive. They've been building for a while. The defense is pretty decent. Cecilia is just minus Jesus Law quarterbacking. They're still fun to watch. And remember, week 0, I said give that team 3 weeks until they break in their coaching and get their players. Cecilia gonna be something to reckon with, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, I agree. I believe Cecilia's gonna be fine. They have talent. They got a what's his name? Calais at wide receiver, big time wide receiver that they have. They're gonna be fine, man. Brand new coach. So, and by the looks of this, it looks like things are really starting to get going. Like the wheels are starting to turn. Just didn't know
Yeah.
how to finish the game defensively with Saint Amar driving down the field. So Cecilia's gonna be fine. But Saint Amar right here, this is to me one of the most defining wins probably in program history right there.
Yes.
Just right there learning how to finish a game,
Win.
you know.
Win.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Win. That's
win. Yeah,
'cause look, when
exactly.
you have Santa Moan, you got EA in your backyard and you got Dutchtown in your backyard. Now you got the brand new bells and whistles in Prairieville in your backyard. You got to start winning, my boy. If you don't start winning, a lot of other stuff is gonna start looking intriguing. But the Gators been on that cusp, man, for years. They got
Yeah,
a really beautiful facility back there, also. But that's a statement win for them.
definitely. I totally agree. And I believe they have John F. Kennedy next week coming into town. All right. Next one that we're gonna go to, and I got it right here. Let's talk about the Chargers of Madison Prep. They beat Dutchtown week 1, and they also came back to beat Mandeville. They were down 21-14 midway through the fourth quarter and came back and won 30-21. What does this say about the Madison Prep Chargers so far within 2 weeks of high school football here?
Man, I'm eating crow. I was the one. I was hard on Madison Prep. I really was. And I mean, honest and truly, they showing that they belong. They're showing they're a program that's going to reap the benefits of having a championship school as far as the basketball. But when you're looking at the football side, they want to beat the Shaws of the world. They want to beat the St. Charles Calais of the world. So I think that victory to them is just snowballing into something greater for a playoff run, a significant playoff run.
Now we talk about a team that got to the semis last year, and they looking to go further into the Superdome to go to the
Yep.
championship. Um, so Landon Johnson, that's their quarterback, and he also plays cornerback. He broke a 42-yard run and got tackled at the 1, and then the running back Harlan Turner, he ran it in, And then after that, they went for two and got the lead 22-21. Right after that, Landon Johnson intercepts a pass. And right after that, they scored from 17 yards out and converted another 2-point conversion that gave them a 30-21 lead with 3 minutes left to go in the game. That's big time right there, man. Landon Johnson putting the team on his back to get that win over a good Mandeville Skippers team, my brother.
That's the type of stuff that gets you recruited, JB. I'm telling you, you know, we always tell our kids, you never know who looking in the stands at this game, bro. And it was a real pivotal moment for that to happen for him. Keep in mind, he still got to shake that off and go back on the offense side of the ball and play quarterback. And that shows a recruiter a lot. He didn't make it about the me. I did this.
Yeah.
He did that for the team as a football player. And you and I, we Gen X type of people, man, and think you might be a little bit more on the tail end of Gen X, but we are missing those old throwback football players.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you witnessing and I witnessing the Chris Henrys of the world. You know, that
Right.
was old school throwback football players, Brandon Jacobs of the world. People thought Brandon Jacobs just played running back, man. Brandon
No.
Jacobs played D tackle. He played linebacker. He did anything Assumption needed him to do. But in order for you to get recruited like that, you're gonna have to make plays like this young man did. And it's coming for him, you know.
I totally agree with you. Now, I want you to talk about this game because you were at this game, my man. St. Charles Catholic
Yeah.
defeats Lutcher 28-0. What can you say about this game and what you saw?
Man, I can tell you this. When the season started and everybody was woofing about Lutcher, it was something that I already knew. And look, week 5, Coach Jenkins is going to have all of that cleaned up. I could guarantee it. This time, you can't stop the rain when you're trying to really break in a signal caller. The game wasn't played last year. Was played this year. I introduced Skylar Edwards to everybody last year. He's a junior. He was a junior running back. He was injured. St. Charles went 0-4. He's healthy now, and he's doing it. He had 3 touchdowns, and he ran the ball pretty well. Lutcher played really good defense, man. He played really good defense, but Coach Wayne is calling the plays now. You can tell there's something different about their offense now. Once upon a time, I thought it was Coach Monica. But St. Charles Catholic defense was carried by a middle linebacker for the last 8 years. Now it's carried by a bunch of different guys. They're playing good football. They're running to the ball, and they're making stops when they need to. So saying that to say that there was a pretty good matchup for St. Charles, I would really want to blow my whistle next week when I see them play Dunham, or if we get some video of them playing Dunham, because that's going to be the new bully around Dunham, you know. And Dunham and St. Charles got that history for that
Yeah.
state championship game that St. Charles beat them. But picking up the pieces for Lutcher, man, Lutcher going to have to get their identity back. They're going to run up until Liberty this week. Good run the ball. Don't make mistakes. And try to get the ball into your best playmaker hands. And that's what we didn't see that night. And it's just because of what St. Charles did. 14, before you know it, it was 14-0. And then you realize, okay, they're at home. They're going to control the clock. Hey, JB, if you ever you was there with Shaw. You saw how they play. They control a narrative. And to be a good high school football team, you got to control a narrative. I could have sworn Coach Monica was coaching that game.
Yes, indeed. Good old legend, Coach Frank Monica. Kenny has a question. He wants to know: did you think that St. Charles will be that dominant over Lutcher? Is St. Charles Cali defense that good this year, or Lutcher not as good as we think so far?
Again, if he was listening to what we were saying, it's going to take Coach Jenkins a while because the Bulldog community, when Coach Jenkins' son was a quarterback for a year and a half. They thought it was an easy position in the half. But now that you don't have a quarterback and you're bringing in some young guys, St. Charles defense is not as great as it looked. This weekend will tell all with a top ranked quarterback coming to play the Commons this week.
There
Then
you
we'll
have
be
it,
able to
Kenny.
say how good the defense.
Definitely. All right. Let's go to Jordan Taylor's area right quick. I'm going to Lafayette. Lafayette Kristen defeats Karen Crow 41-38. And I'm quoting from my good friend Shannon Belt of the Daily Advertiser. She said, "You got my permission, JB." I said, "Thank you, my friend." But pretty much he said momentum was going back and forth between both teams. LCA trailed by 4 points and had a fourth and goal with seconds left on the clock. That's when quarterback Braylon Walker and wide receiver Caden Leday snatched the hope from the Karen Crow Bears as they connected on a 13-yard touchdown pass to secure the 41-38 victory. Shannon interviewed Braylon Walker, and he said, "We work on situations like this all the time at practice." Now, I'm gonna say this: the LCA got on the right track pretty much late in the season, kind of similar to like John Curtis did, and they were up on Dunham in the quarterfinals, and Dunham came back in that fourth quarter and won. But to me, LCA, when they found their stride last year, they still on that momentum, still going up
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
because they look pretty good right now. And you beat a good Karen Crow team, and last week you beat a good Rummel team. So
yeah.
shouldn't they be looking out for LCA? Anybody who got to play them?
Man, I can tell you, the Walker kid, he grown up. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Because when you play games like this, everybody want to see your reaction. And to think of the situation, what it was, man, you got to have ice water in your veins to make a pass to win a football game. And
Yes.
you know, LCA been on a trajectory. They got a lot of things cleaned up at the school. They got the coaches in place now. They got rid of some of the me players through graduation and going on to that next level. So now I think they're ready to play some football and represent Lafayette in the dome once again.
Ooh, Nick says LCA to the dome. Okay, okay.
Look, I passed through there to get something to eat. I ran into a Rams fan and I ran into the Lafayette, I'm sorry, LCA fan. And man, I tell you what, the Ram fan, they are down, but LC is up. And this is the time that they're gonna be up and they're gonna ride that wave. And I don't blame them.
Tell you what, LCA has been a good program for years. For years, they lost Coach Falk, and then they lost Coach Landry. But right now, I can't think of his name. Cheese, you know the head coach for LCA, because since you are associated with them. But right now, he's got them on a path where they look unstoppable. And they come to Shaw in 2 weeks. We'll leave it at that, man. That's just me giving Cheese a little hard time, and he does the same thing to me, and it's all in good fun. We know that. But look, I'm heavily impressed. You talk about the quarterback Walker growing up, and yes, he's grown a lot since taking over the reins last season, man. And he looks very very good, and they are scary. That O line is big. I think from
Yeah.
Cheese told me they got a tackle they had a tackle last year that was like 6'10", and I wonder if that's the same
Mhm.
guy because he told me like 6'9". O line has
Yeah,
got some size.
they say he's 6'8", but
Okay,
6'10" is a lot. 6'10" is a lot to move for football, especially in cleats. You know, so when I saw it was 6'8", I believed it was 6'8".
okay, not a problem. Cheese said coach name is Matt Standiford. So LCA, look, I got my eyes on LCA, man, because I'm used to seeing LCA be dominant, be
Yeah,
dominant. I'm used to it, and didn't see that last year. But they, like I said, they caught stride at the right time, and right now they taking off from that stride they caught, and they look very very good. Um, two more things before we go into the week 3 previews. Let's see. He broke his foot in the jamboree. A 6'8" tackle out for the year. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. So I pray for his recovery. I really do. But y'all still look good, man. Y'all still look good, man. That's unfortunate for the 6'8" tackle. Catholic hosted St. Thomas More. It's a game that went down to the final minutes. Catholic of Baton Rouge won 35-28. My brother, it was a second half shootout between the two, and Jaden Miles came alive in the second half. He rushed for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Taylor Goldsmith late interception put the game away. So we know about Catholic. They're a favorite to get back to the dome, but I think we can say St. Thomas More improved from their week 1 loss against Karen Crow in this ball game, Nick.
See, St. Thomas More, they can be a scary team. We all, as sports writers and fans, and we take a liking into undefeated seasons, right? But a
Yeah.
team like that with a 5-5 record, then play some really, really great teams, can make a really tough out for certain teams in their division, man. And you want to play games like this early. You want to grow up and you want to get one of those games, and they're gonna get one. We don't know who it's gonna be yet, but they're gonna get one or two right before their little pre-district schedule, and then they're gonna start like week 9. Where they been all year? Where they been? They've been getting beat up. Now they fighting back.
I tell you what, man, Coach Hightower, he always has a good team, man, and they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. Never forget when they beat LCA um 2 years ago, and one of the assistant coaches come to me and said, "Man, you gotta start believing us. Just start believing in us." And I say, "I believe in y'all. I believe in y'all. I was just going for LCA, but I believe in y'all. I know how good y'all are." All in
now,
good
now,
fun.
now, mark my words. When they bring out the platinum helmets, that's when you gonna know they mean business.
That's right, man. Them platinum helmets, man. Oh man, yes indeed. And if you've never been to STM Stadium, I advise y'all to go. That atmosphere is crazy, crazy good. Um,
Electric.
it is. And if I ever go again, just make sure I got some headphones with some music when they played the Narco song, because I hate that song because of that. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Moving on, that 69-30 victory they put on my alma mater in the semifinals two seasons ago. But yeah, man. Look, we know about Catholic and they're gonna be fine, and SCM's gonna be fine. One more game that was talked about a lot, and that was Central and Denham Springs, and people were picking Denham Springs to win this game against the defending Division I non-select state champions.
Did
And
George Pepper
Denham
pick Denham Springs? Did George Pepper pick Denham Springs?
No, Pepper did not pick Denham Springs. He did not.
I
None of
thought
us
I
picked
heard
Denham
Pepper
Springs.
pick Denham Springs. Oh man, because I was gonna roast him.
but think about it, Nick. Denham Springs was up 28-21 at one time. They were
Yeah.
up, and Central came
20,
back.
28-14, huh?
Maybe so. Maybe
It was
so.
28-14 when I had check in, and I was like, this is
Okay.
over. when I look back, I say, what? You know? And they did it. They did it. They escaped the jaws of defeat 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a
Yeah.
row. So
Yes.
if this team, Central, is getting these wins and trying to remain healthy, but they schedule, man, I can tell you, it could be scary.
Definitely.
Because you still breaking in a young quarterback to your program.
You're exactly right. Exactly right. Denham Springs. This is a rivalry between these two, ladies and gentlemen, and it's. I think they call it a battle on the Amite River. I think that's what it's called when these two
Mm-hmm.
teams play. And Denham Springs has not beaten Central in a football game, in a regular season football game for sure, since 2018. and the rivalry dates back to 1948. Central has been the dominant one in recent years, like I just said. But
Wow.
Coach Brad Beard was he did an interview, and I know he does his own show on the Dental Springs High School YouTube channel, and he said that it was going to be a fight. His team will be ready, and he said that it would probably be the biggest attendance ever at the new stadium in Dental Springs. And I think it was, and I tell you what, I have to give them credit for the fight that they had. I think if you up 28-14, now you just got to learn how to finish games and how to win. That's what you got to do now. And I look, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Dental Springs.
Yeah.
But when you're a state champion, you're gonna get everybody's best shot.
Yeah. And you got to find a way. You got to find a way to motivate your guys each and every week because you're not you're not what they call that the apex predator no more. They come in, you gonna get their best shot. I don't care if it's what's the other school, Live Oak. If it's Live
Yeah,
Oak, they're gonna give Central their best shot.
you're exactly right. All right. To you, what was the most surprising victory for week 2?
Man, don't laugh.
All right.
And I knew this question was gonna come up. And I was sifting through my games this week, and it was a shocker. Uh, I'm kind of stuck. Not you high, beat not you high and Rummel. I figured that was going to happen, but I'm gonna come back to it. It slipped my brain. I thought I wrote it down because it was shocking. It was a very shocking game.
Okay. I'll give y'all mines right quick because I didn't see this happening and I saw the schedules and everything. And when I looked at it, I said this team was gonna win, even though it looks like they're kind of rebuilding. But I was like, they gonna get this win. Yeah, they struggled against a team in the jamboree. Week 1, yeah, they got beat. But I said against this team, they'll get the win, and they did not get the win. Prairieville defeating Parkview Baptist. That was my
Yeah,
surprise. I didn't think Prairieville would beat Parkview Baptist, but they did. Congratulations to Prairieville on that win, defeating Parkview Baptist.
yeah,
Cheese
not
Cheese says Lafayette defeating St. Martinville. That's a good one, Cheese. That is a good one. Yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
yeah. No, this is mine, and I'm sorry because I'm getting old and I'm forgetful. But it was the Willow School beating Country Day.
Yes, I saw
That's
that too.
that's what it
Yes,
was. I was like speechless. I was like, no, no, you didn't. And that
man.
happened.
So they beat Haynes in the jamboree by double digits, and I think they beat Country Day by double digits as well. I think maybe by 11 points, like 31-20, something
Yeah.
like that. And they can't
Yes.
even. They're not playing. They're in Shaw's district, but they're not playing nobody in district yet. I think they got a
Hmm.
regular season game with Bell Chase. That's it. But the rest of the district teams, they're not playing them, and I don't think they're even playing for playoff stuff. So
Yeah.
that's man, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That's a big time win.
You got to really have a game plan to defend Country Day with all three of these weaponries that they got and playing a little bit solid defense. Also, that was my surprise game of that weekend. This way, and I think out in the broad, Ruston
Hmm.
and the Rams.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was going to end like that. I thought it would have probably been a little closer, But I
yeah,
mean, just high school football. What do we know, right?
that's right. What do we know? All right, we're gonna do a few games around the state for week 3. We're not gonna tell you who's gonna win. We're just gonna give you our thoughts on what these teams have to do in order to maybe win. That's all we're gonna do. Just give you our opinions, and we're gonna start off with Archbishop Shaw versus Archbishop Rummel at Archbishop Shaw. The battle for the megaphone. All right. So Rummel, in my opinion, who just came off a big victory over University, their offense needs to have long drives. Keep Shaw's defense on the field because that's Shaw's bread and butter so far. Their defense, very, very good. Keep Shaw's defense on the field, tire them out, and then you got to get 3 and outs on Shaw. Just like that to get that defense back on the field. Shaw's offense got to be creative, find ways to keep getting first downs. The offense, I saw it against St. Augustine. I saw it against Carr. They had issues moving the ball. 9 new starters. We know how that can go. But West Jeff, they played against West Jeff. Cena got the ball rolling a little bit, but this is a bigger test with Rummel. So if they can get first downs, gain confidence with moving the ball, and giving your defense some rest, Shaw got a shot. But if Rummel could do what I said, then Rummel could have got a shot, Nick.
When you think about bringing in 9 new players, it's all about Coach Hank. And Coach Hank realizes that, I don't want to start over. I want to just become the same Shaw that we used to be. But reluctantly, he going to take it game by game. Now, what can really help a young team is Coach Hank showing confidence in them and say, look, we want the ball first. We're not going to put our defense on the field in this megaphone classic. I want to show them that we're going to move these chains a little while, go back to the old method, make some safe pitches to your running back. Guys like Coach Hank, he's a legend, and he really understands kids. That's the most important thing. When you had the luxury of having 2 big running backs like that, and you go back and you don't have that now, he's going to have to find a creative way to move these chains to get these kids to buy in and say, "All right, coach, now I see what you're saying." And moving to play a defensive team like Rummel, man, anything can happen. I can assure you it might be a 10-7 game. Mark that down.
Okay, okay. I wouldn't be surprised either. Definitely B. Harris. Como getting their first win in 3 years. Shout out to Como. And also, yes, Southwood. I don't know if you heard about Southwood, Nick. Their first
Yes,
win in
yes, yes,
almost 6 years.
yes, yes. I was shocked to see Saulwood get a quality victory.
Man, they
You
interviewed one
know,
of the kids. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
no, go, go, no. It's just I want to hear this one.
They interviewed one of the kids on the team, and he was excited. And they said, "What you gonna do to celebrate, man? Taking my girlfriend somewhere. We go to Buffalo Wild Wings. That's how we gonna celebrate, man." I
Hey,
loved
look,
it, man. I
look,
loved it.
you got a man having 2 sons associated with high school football nowadays, man, is so raw and pure. And when you and I we both interview kids, that's what's gonna come out their mouth because that's how they actually feeling at that moment. Because you can't take that away, that incredible victory from that kid. Because I don't know about you, but in games like that, I tend to stick my head in the locker room and see what the reaction be, and it be lit.
Yes, indeed, man.
So that was one of them that caught our eyes, and I was like, hey, Southwood.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Congratulations to Southwood and to Como. Um, Next game, I'm gonna let you talk about this one because you know a little bit more about it. Alexandria coming to Destrehan. What you can say about it?
Woo! Woo! Listen, I might get slapped around for saying this, but we gotta wear our big boy jeans this week. Rompers, uh what else the other jeans they wear? With the we need to wear all of that because Ash is
Overalls.
coming to play. Yes, Ash is coming to play. And Dasher had their way with Bountiful this week. but it's going to be a different type of environment. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. And all of that is going to trickle down to some of your players. Now, guess what we learned about Destrehan this week? We learned that Destrehan got some defensive players. They have
Hmm.
some defensive players. But we're going to have to see these players hit after hit after hit after hit and keep playing. And that's gonna bring Destrehan out of that shell. To play somebody like Ash, we're gonna really see where the defense is right away early on in this game.
You know, um, the seniors that graduated from that team, Ash, I was like, okay, well, we may not see Ash get back to the championship. Maybe see him get to the second round quarters, but we may not see him get to the championship. Well, from what people had told me that their defense will be good. So people told me that.
Mhm.
Right now, their offense is scoring points out the wazoo.
Yeah.
But I think this is their first big test against a quality. Not saying that the teams they played already weren't quality opponents, but against a real quality opponent in Destrehan. And I want to see if their offense can move the ball on Destrehan. Also for Destrehan, I want to see Malachi Dabney get touches and make plays happen. I think that is important because we already
Malachi
know
had a big
he had a
week
big
he
weekend.
had. He got
Okay,
four
good.
touchdowns.
Good. I want to see that happen again against this team because
Yes.
I'm already thinking that their defense is going to game plan around Jackson trying to throw to Jabari Mack. But if you can get that running game going, now they got to be more honest, and I think the play action going to work for Jabari Mack.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you, and I haven't saw Destrehan pretty much this year, but I know the sell, and Coach Marcus don't text me. I'll be over there. But listen, uh, Mac is gonna have to touch the ball a lot more in
Yeah,
some form or fashion. Not discrediting Jackson Fields, he is their best offensive weapon. Uh, even in the Wildcat form with him and Malachi, we need to see a lot of that so we can keep a lot of people honest against these Wildcats coming up. So, but Marcus Scott is an incredible coach. He
yep,
realizes and understands what he have. Those little discrepancies in his defense, man, you got to let these kids play through the good games and the bad games. Let them make their mistakes because when that week turn after October 31st, everybody's in playoff mode, JB.
oh yeah,
Everybody's in playoff mode. Because you would have been and had the Hanvilles, the Thibodeaux, and the Terrebones that came your way by then. So it's time for them to rise up and show that Ash is not ready for this type of game.
there you go. I'm passing this one to you also. Edie White coming to Hornville. Hornville looking to get revenge from the loss to Edie White from last season.
Yeah. I started studying that game 2 weeks ago when Holy Cross played ED White. And I looked at this game and I said, if Holy Cross can go to ED White and win, Hornville should have been able to win. Now the favor should be returned. Edie White is coming back at Booty, right?
Yeah,
And what we need to see from Hornville is consistency of running the football with more than one person. They got to find a way to move the chains against Edie White more than one person. Now, Hornville offense and defensive line is massive in size. They are massive in size. Uh, Watching them in a spring game, watching them against Jesuit, I want to see can Hornville O line and D line hold up against those cut blocking ED White type of players. They cross block a lot and they engage and they take them down. So I want to see how that turn out. Another game I think going to be a low scoring football game because Hornville can play defense.
there you go. I think the key on both sides of the ball for Hornville is Fred Downey. Can Fred open up the
Okay.
holes for Hornville, and can Fred plug up holes against that Edie White running game? That's I think he's the key to Hornville getting a victory, in my opinion.
Yeah. Look, Coach Ronda's chiming in and he said that's ran secondary. Got to step up. But look, and I'm glad Coach said that because think about this. We talked about this earlier about the best football players on the best team, right?
Yeah.
We thought let's use him for example, Jamar Mack. He had a 104-yard interception return for a touchdown. Now
Yep.
that's showing recruiters that he can do what? He's a
Play
throwback
defense as well.
football player.
Yeah.
He can play defense as well because even in your recruitment status, they got you coming in at wide receiver. Lionel Washington, when he got recruited, he went in as this and turned around to be a top defensive back. And you know what I'm saying? In the
Yep.
NFL. So you got to open your eyes up to what other people think about you for you to have immediate success.
Definitely. Um, St. James going to Terrebonne, and I tell you what, man, this is going to be St. James' toughest test to date. That Terrebonne O line, that's the biggest O line in the state, in my opinion. You got three dudes on that O line going to play Division One ball. One going to Southern, one going to
Yeah.
Louisiana Tech, one going to North Texas. You got two good running backs in Alvin Celestine and Quincy Adams. Their defense going to find ways to get stops on that offense. I think St. James will be able to score on their defense, but if Terrebonne's O line is able to wear down that St. James defense, it can get ugly in a hurry.
You see why I'm smiling like this, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's payback time for when Coach Tyler went in to St. James and beat St. James. So I know Coach Davis, he ain't gonna never forget that. And I don't usually put up, Coach Fronta and I talk about more and less nowadays. But here's the more, in my opinion, a healthy St. James, it'll be 2 touchdowns or more this week.
okay, okay,
This week.
okay.
Because they're looking forward to this. I shared a little insert that they had with Coach Morrell and Coach Tyler. They beating out Coach, getting him out the bed. Come on, come on, come on, come on. The minute
Oh
after the
man,
Railroad Classic expired, if you go on my page, you'll see it. They turn around and got him out the bed. The jailer's coming. Let's go, let's go. So I like St. James in that matchup on the road.
okay. We interviewed Coach Levanta Davis after the game, and he said we got a 12-hour rule, and after 12 hours we get to Terrebonne. I was like, man, not even 24 hours. Whoo, okay,
12,
okay.
12 hours. You, you,
12-hour
you
rule.
saw that look when he was looking at you when he was interviewing.
Yeah. Oh
He's
yeah,
one of
man.
the he was one of the greatest guys to interview. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Yeah.
interviewing him last year, and his wife came up, and he was talking, and he kept talking through the interview because he be that serious, and I love it, man. And he's right, 12-hour rule, because he said, "Come, all of that partying. Let's get back to football."
Back to football. That's right. That's gonna be a big game this Friday night. Um, Caliga Baton Rouge against University. University actually defeated Caliga Baton Rouge until they had to forfeit the victory later on for illegalities that they had on their team. Um, Look, I think Catholic has a great shot to win this game, and if they're able to play great defense by stopping the University's offense, I think Catholic has a great shot. That's just my thoughts.
Classic football game. Classic football game that's going to be played. Now, this is my definition. You feel that way about it, and I feel that Cali will beat them back to back. I mean, like give them their second loss consecutively. Man, I think in this Cali league that Cali gonna need this game more than anybody to show that they arrive. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They played the Destrehands of the world. They want to show they still in the puncher's fight, like Canelo was last night. They wanted to finish and hope the people say you the winner. But saying that to say this, I'm riding with the Bears.
Okay, you picking the Bears. I'm not picking. Nick's picking the Bears.
I like the Bears' chances.
Okay, okay. He's not picking the Cubs. He's picking the Bears. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. All right. North DeSoto. We're going up north, everybody. 'Cause like we say, we do the whole state. North
Ooh,
DeSoto hosting West Monroe. West Monroe beat
ooh,
Pulaski, Arkansas. Okay, that's a national powerhouse team too. West Monroe beat them. Big win for Michael Dizer, the head coach of West Monroe. But West Monroe lost to North DeSoto last season in at North DeSoto. Now they in West Monroe. And I'm telling you, if West Monroe can get pressure on Luke Delafield and make him throw the ball earlier than when he wants to, put that pressure on him, make him hurrying, West Monroe will have a shot. Other way around, protect Luke Delafield, North DeSoto.
yeah, I think Coach Dunn realized that he's going to have to protect his asset, and that's going to give them the best chance of winning this game. Now, the murky part about this whole little rivalry that they starting to build, I'm confused about which West Monroe gonna show up. Is it the first 5 week West Monroe, or is it the last 5 weeks of the football season West Monroe? Because they've been slaying the Dragons up north, and then when you come down to playoff time, they move Central Louisiana to get moved on. Saying that to say this, but West Monroe came with all kind of pageantry in the past. Where's that pageantry at? Where's the rebels, rebel,
No, we
and
don't want that. We don't want that.
the 4,000 people marching band? But saying that to say this, that's what's missing. Those type of bravado is missing from schools like that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think North DeSoto care. I think they're gonna put their Cadillac on display this weekend also.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just messing with y'all. Because when West Monroe be in that dome, that Rebel chant be so loud, man. Jeez. Rebels,
But it's,
rebels.
it's great for high school football, and you gotta love it. You gotta just shut them up. That's what Hornville did. They had to shut them up. When you play schools like that, you don't want them to make that noise.
I'm telling you.
You want
And
them to keep going.
if y'all went to the state championship games back in the day, I'm telling you, the bottom level, the middle level were all full
Full,
back in the day.
full.
Full.
Yep. I didn't think that many people up there.
I remember when it was Acadiana and Sulphur played in the state championship. They had to open the very top level, the terrace. They had to open it up just for that game.
Yeah,
Those people
yeah,
came down, man. All
yeah.
right,
And
go ahead.
no. I was saying they love us a high school football.
Yes, sir. Nick, we got a game in the Lafayette area where both teams are looking for their first win. And it's strange because we never really see these two teams 0-2. St.
Yes,
Thomas
yes,
More and Acadiana. Somebody got to
yeah,
get their first win, man. But this is uncharacteristic for us to be saying St. Thomas More is 0-2. Acadiana is 0-2. Very, very strange, Nick.
yeah. I think more than less, a kid Hannah, we understand what they're going through. Uh, Breaking in a new coach themselves, picking up the pieces, and you are who you are. And we don't look at St. Thomas more as that. They play some stellar teams to get to where they was at for their 0-2 record. But uh I think the Rams, and I've been wrong before. St. Thomas More is gonna be a statement game for them. They're gonna practice hard all week, and they're going to use this game to catapult them to saving their season. Even if Acadiana lose, their season is not over.
Right?
Their season is definitely not over. It's the same as St. Thomas More. They're just going to put the state on notice who wins this game. I'm building because week 4, you got to be careful. Week 4, week 5, their district ain't gonna start to get a little bit curvy for them, and they're gonna start putting some games together, winning some games, and when you lose tough games, it really teaches kids how to win what's in front of them next game. Coach gonna come to practice next Monday. We done with that. We moving on next week. We moving on next week, and that's how you build. That's how you snowball into getting into the playoffs. A hot football team.
All right. One more topic left. Here we go. So we heard about Franklin Paris last year, all the noise they made and everything, and making a deep playoff run. Hey, we heard about Calvary Baptist too. You know, they were the defending state champions for Division 3 Select, and they lost in the quarterfinals to Calic New Iberia, or the semifinals, one of the two, I can't remember. But
Yeah.
we went into the offseason like, well, Calvary Baptist, they losing the quarterback, Abram Wardell. They're losing James Simon at running back. They're losing a couple players. Maybe a down year for Calvary Baptist. Well, let's pump those brakes, everybody, because Calvary Baptist came out swinging like my boy last night, Bud Crawford, man. You know what I'm saying? They swinging like
Uh-huh.
him, making a statement. But so is Franklin Paris. Well, guess what? It's Franklin Paris against Calvary Baptist. And Nick, I think we're gonna have a this might be a shootout. I think we're gonna have a great game between these two. I'm thinking a shootout, and whoever has the ball last may be the
When's
team
the
to win the
game?
game, Nick.
When's the game? And we look at it from certain angles. When that game came across, I was thinking, I was like, man, it'll be a travesty for rain to disrupt a game like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when I
Yeah.
say rain, we always talk about the weather being the third element involved in a football game. Uh, Calvary, you know as well, throw the ball a lot. Franklin moved the ball a lot. So we looking at another basketball game being played on a Friday night, barring rain that way. So Calvary is a good program. We watched them lose, we watched them win, we watched them go away. But now they reload and they learn how to get past uh these years that your talent level is down. So they got good coaching, they just reload with talent.
Definitely, man. It's a game I'm excited for, man. I just saw it on the schedule, and I was like, wow, that's gonna be a
We're
great
gonna
game.
we're gonna learn a lot about both teams this Friday. We're gonna learn a lot about both teams.
Cheese, you are right because they did play last year and they beat them. You are absolutely right. That's when everyone took notice of Franklin Paris. You are absolutely right. Definitely. Well, everybody, that is our show for tonight. Before we get out of here, want to tell you about the shows that we have during the week on Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 o'clock, right here on JB the Sports Guy YouTube page. You can catch the Hash It Out show. You can also catch it on Jared Sports Guy
Excuse
Boyd.
me.
And bless you, my brother. Jared Sports
Thank you.
Guy Boyd Facebook page. Catch it on the JB the Sports Guy Twitter page as well. And the Hash It Out show Instagram. 7 o'clock Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We're gonna have a couple guests this Tuesday, and of course Wednesday. We'll talk about some of the games and pick who wins some of these games. Wednesday, our buddy Jordan Taylor and his show Under the Lights is at 8:30 to maybe 11 o'clock. The Hash It Out show will be done at 8:30 on Wednesday. Then you can go straight to Under the Lights show, and Jordan Taylor
UTL.
will. That's right. Jordan Taylor will recap week 2, talk about week 3, and they also do their picks. Good show that he has also. Then Thursday morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, you can catch my guy right here, Nick Campbell, on his Facebook page. And he'll have most likely Coach Ulysses Fronter joining him as they talk about the River Parish High School football teams. They'll recap what they did and then preview the week 3 games. You can catch that on his Facebook page. And going back to Jordan Taylor and Under the Lights, you can catch that show on the Under the Lights Facebook page. So, my brother Nick, you got any last words before we get out of here?
My last words are, we've been playing some big boy football coming up in the River Parish for years. The pendulum is swinging right now. We got some excellent coaches. We have 8 excellent coaches in this River Parish, man. And we just so excited to promote these kids and these coaches, man. Parents and parents alone, please don't miss out on the opportunity to miss your child's games behind coaches are losing. That's a part. Some programs, they all did it. Curtis did it. Charles did it. We just got to continue to support the community with these coaches and these kids, man. And that's what it's all about. That was laid on my heart. And a couple of teams are down right now in River Parish, but it's just 2 games.
I'm glad you said that because Westgate High School, they did something with their football players on Instagram, and a couple coaches were talking, a couple of the players were talking, and the coaches were talking about how important it is for the community to come out and support these kids. They saying how much these kids want to play in front of their family and friends, and he said it makes a difference in their lives if you show
Yeah.
up. And I say that a lot even here because I see it in Jefferson Parish schools when these teams are playing, and I see it even with the Orleans Parish schools when their teams are playing. That some of these schools, the community doesn't show up, and I wish that you know things could change to where the community does show up for these games and does support the coaches and the players on the field, and definitely the players. They want to
Yeah.
see parents, brothers, sisters, cousins, and friends all in the stands. They want to have something to play for, and it's very, very important. And I
Oh yeah.
just ask that we all can do better and show up for these kids, Nick.
10 weeks. That's it. 10 weeks, and we hope and pray we see Willow School make it to a championship one day. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
it takes communities. You look at every one of our River Parish team. We always promote communities. Man, these guys got bulldozers behind them. They got bulldozers behind them with support. And that's how they can get the best uniforms and look the best on the field and be the Dusher Hands and the Hinesville of the world. And I know you've been back there, JB. You see what St. Charles Parish got to offer
oh
for
yeah,
athletics. Then you see what Zachary got to offer for athletic. You've been around. You see what we talked about Barb. You see what Barb had to offer. So
it's right.
saying that the thing is, we just chopping it up on support for these coaches and kids.
Definitely, definitely. We want to thank
Well,
each and go ahead.
no, you enjoy your football tonight because I could finally watch the game. I was sneezing all day,
Definitely, man. Get well, bro. Get better, brother.
and
We
I
want to
appreciate y'all, man.
definitely, man. Appreciate you as well. Everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Like I always say, tell your parents to tune in. Tell your brothers and your sisters. Tell your grandparents. Tell your cousins, aunties and uncles, nieces and nephews, all your friends. Tell them all to tune in to all our shows and even the boot breakdown. We're back during the week, like I said, for all our shows. And next Sunday, we're back again for the boot breakdown. For my guy, Nick Campbell, I am JB, the sports guy. And also for our other guy who couldn't make it today on assignment, Jordan Taylor. He'll be back with us next Sunday. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all take care. See y'all.
Good night. Thank you.